Okay, welcome to Moby Dick Golf Swing. There's so much information out there in the world, and then there's many teachers and scientists explain this really well as well. But I want to say it in my own word why some of this is important. Okay, so we're gonna talk about I guess transverse rotation versus frontal plane. Um, yes, there's nowadays shaft plane, shoulder plane, elbow plane, your hip plane. It's all kinds of planes are out there, but I want to mainly concentrate through, let's say, Scotty Scheffler or like a Jack Nicklaus type of golf swing that they predominantly hitting fade and how they are hitting fade. So I brought this speed skate or skate trainer here, and I'm gonna do just a few times. Just you have to push it here this way, and then go this way, right? And push it, push it, push it. I'm gonna do it one more time. Push it. The reason I said this is I did this drill is to show you that Scotty Scheffler's this pelvis moving this way horizontally, he moved it closer to from here about 8 inches, or it's tremendous more than anyone else's. Next person maybe Xander Scheffler. Okay. Now, the reason I also show you this is you're pushing down and pushing this way is exactly same move as Moby Dick golf swing, the backswing pivot, okay? So, now looking at side angle, modern days now, swinging from, let's say you have a pole straight up and down, you're turning this way horizontally, okay? And that's called transverse rotation. So if you have it full of hook like this, or some kind of circular motion is like this, this is death move to modern day golf swing, okay? So they don't encourage you to do that. Now, watch this here. Instead of this, you're turning this way. This way is called frontal plane rotation. So almost like you're looking at it here, it would be like this, transverse, and this way is frontal plane. Now, because even if you're doing horizontally, because we have tilt, it is becoming more of vertical, and a horizontal maybe just meets halfway, like 45. But even if you do this, if it's amateur thinking more of transverse rotation, that's why they come over the top and then creates a bad angle, basically. So the modern day scientist is more in favor of this motion right here, frontal plane, okay? Now, I also set up a plane right there. When you see this thing, that's the plane. Let's say you're turning. Obviously, this is probably set it up more towards wedges, and then obviously drive will be much flatter. But anyway, so that's the ideal plane. And then if you're thinking about more turning this way, it'll create massive problem, okay? Now, because we already tilted this way, this is more makes sense. If you think about doing this, you actually will do this for you because of the little tilt. So I'm in a camp of doing this. okay? Doing this. Frontal plane, okay? Now, just like a minute ago, I showed you, if you think about it more this way, again, this is more of inclined plane. So this for human, we golfers to feel it is more of Ferris wheel like this. Or get you more to the plane. Okay? That's why when you do this drill, for example, there, and then this in the ice now, and then when you're holding a stick, by the way, this is the hockey stick, but this is the left-handed, right-handed. So anyway, so it's here, when you strike it here, as you move, you're striking it like this, right? So here, you're striking it like that. That is not transverse rotation. That is more of the frontal plane action. Does it look familiar? That's how Scotty Scheffler hits his golf ball, not using transverse rotation, but using more frontal rotation, like that. Okay, like that. Okay, so this is now in line with what we talked about the other day about internal, external rotation. So this allows you to avoid internal rotation. It promotes more of neutral to external rotation, so that club face does not close, so that you lose the ball to the left. Pull hook. So that is more favorable ways to control your shot, control your ball flight. All right, now next is this. This is, again, so if you are in favor of, let's say, more of frontal rotation, this kind of rotation, instead of this rotation. If you look at it this way, not this rotation, but more of this rotation, like this. Take a look at also the club face. I'm leaving it like this, and then you doing it more vertically, like this. See, club face doesn't shut. Only way the club face is shut faster or more naturally if you do transverse rotation. Transverse rotation. Club face tend to shut it naturally. But if you do more vertically with the frontal plane, it's very difficult. You have very difficult to shut it. Here it's very natural to. If you do this motion naturally, it stays. Club face doesn't shut it like this. It's more natural to club to looking at the target and stay more open or neutral, versus transverse shuts it. When you get to here, it already shuts it. Frontal plane, right there. Okay? That's why I'm in favor of hitting fade with frontal plane way versus really low and then come into the plane and then exit out really shallow. To me, that is closer to transverse way to control your club face and the ball flight. Here, plane, get to the plane, and then really turning left as quickly as you can. That is, to me, is more into transverse way to hit fade. Again, who's most famous for that is Hakeem Neiman is doing it, right? Now, issue with that is this: the person using this transverse versus frontal plane, Brooks Koepka, Scotty Scheffler, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger knows how to do this. Okay? Does it sound familiar? They are all major winner. Okay? Major winner, they use frontal plane to control their shot and hitting those control fade. You can hit fade with a transverse method. Now here is the most striking differences why frontal plane hitting fade is more favorable, because all the major tournament is play with a many times high rough as thick as sometimes British Open, as thick as your, sometimes your knee high. If you are in the camp of transverse method, it's very, very difficult to get out of those high rough in US Open, British Open, in some cases, obviously, in a Masters and a PGA. Is a frontal plane is superior, or then transverse rotation way to control it is a superior than a transverse way of controlling the fade. Okay, so having said that, you need to work on, if you can, buy one of these, Amazon or other places, and do this drill, and then learn to hit it more of like hockey stick, like that. Okay? So how's then related to Moby Dick swing is, once you go 2.5, when you pivot, that is ideal. Instead of here, you just simply rotating like this way. We are rotating more of this way, frontal. Okay?